that you're joining with us. We're going to be talking about the winter blues. We are in the midst of the coldest part of the year, the January and February months, and it's often hard because there's less sunshine, there's less daylight. We are not getting out. We're probably not as active as what we would be. And so I think to some extent, we all kind of deal with those winter blues a little bit. Some even call it SAD, S-A-D, as in seasonal affective disorder. It's a very real thing. It's a form of depression that kind of happens with some seasonal patterns. It sometimes starts like late in the fall and runs all the way through till the spring. So it's very much a part of our world, a part of our life, but how do we deal with that? What does that look like for us on a regular basis? The days are shorter, they're colder. As I just mentioned, maybe you might not be experiencing quite as much energy as you once had. Or if you're like me, I love to just hibernate under a warm blanket and think about a cozy fireplace. And the last thing I want to do is probably deal with a lot of people whenever I'm kind of in that mood. But Cone Health, Cone, C-O-N-E, Cone Health, says that the winter blues is a little bit more serious than what we might think about. The symptoms can be very distressing. They can be very overwhelming to people. There's actually sometimes a little bit of an imbalance that happens with us. And so I just want to talk with you a little bit about today and kind of more or less just reassure you that if this is something that you're dealing with, you are by no means alone in this. It's something that so many people deal with on different levels at different times, and it's okay. So in addition to being in this cold winter time, we're also, as I've said before, we're dealing with all of the effects of the changes that we've had in the world since the pandemic has hit, and things just do not seem to be what they were, 3 years ago. There's so many changes that we are dealing with, and there's people that are experiencing job loss, there's experiencing financial distress. Some people are dealing with the grief and the loss of loved ones, especially this time of year. It sometimes seems like our minds drift to those who are not with us a little bit more frequently than at other times of the year. And so all of these factors can lead to us feeling a little bit down and having those winter blues. There's some very common symptoms that come along with this. The feelings of sadness, maybe a little bit of a depressed mood. Your appetite might change, your sleep might change. Maybe you're just a little bit restless in some of the things that you do. Maybe you're having trouble concentrating or making decisions. I know that I deal with some of that sometimes. And so it can be treated, these symptoms can be treated in a lot of different ways, but there's also some steps that we can take as friends and as family, that brothers and sisters in Christ. There's some things that we can do, some steps that we can help that can kind of help with some of this treatment. That's just what I'm going to talk with you about today. Is first of all, I want you to understand you're not alone. You're not alone in this, and it's okay to have some of these feelings. And how do we work through that? But I think one of the things that we can do is we can help hold each other accountable and say, hey, let's go get some physical activity. Let's go take a walk in the middle of the afternoon and see if we can get a little bit of sunshine and some physical activity in there as well. We want to also make sure that we're, getting enough sleep, because if you're like me, I know when I am down on sleep, nothing seems to be going right. I just feel like everything is against me whenever I'm tired and I've not had the proper sleep that I should be. Emotionally, one of the things that I love to do, and I don't do it on a regular basis, but every once in a while, I pull out a journal and I just start keeping a track of all the things that I'm grateful for. And when you look at that journal, when you look at that gratitude journal, as I like to call it, and then you start to kind of get into one of those slumps, but then you look back on that journal and you're like, wow, even when I'm feeling a little bit down, there's so many things that I am blessed with. There are so many things that I have that I can be thankful for. And that is such a blessing. It's such a great thing to be able to do that. What about making an effort to socialize with people? Sometimes we have a tendency that we want to put ourselves into a hole rather than putting ourselves out there even more. But think about even just picking up a phone and calling somebody, having a chat, going out to your local coffee shop, or grabbing a piece of cheesecake with somebody that you're friends with. Anything like that can really help. Even just in our world of technology today, you can do video chats, you can do FaceTime, you can do Zoom. There's so many different opportunities in which we can stay connected, and that connection really does help us kind of overcome some of those feelings that we may be having. What about intellectually? Just diving into a good book, learning something new, learning a new skill. Maybe you've always wanted to crochet or knit. Maybe you've always wanted to use power tools, and maybe you've always wanted to build something or redecorate your house, or whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Anything to kind of keep your mind going, to keep your mind stretching, I think can be very beneficial and very helpful to us. And spiritually, sometimes we just need to take a moment and just kind of like spiritually reconnect. Be mindful of the moment. And instead of focusing on the negatives of the winter, focus on the glorious idea that every snowflake is different. Focus on the glories that we have that opportunity, that spring is coming, that new life is coming, that flowers are going to be blooming, that the newness of the world is still out there for us. I mean, what a great opportunity just to focus and to reflect on some of the wonderful things that we have before us. And what about just even environmentally being mindful of things? You know, getting outside, or, you know, what's around you in your environment. Now we have all these wonderful fancy lamps that you can buy that put out all this different things of sunshine, and there's all these different opportunities. But being aware of your environment. You know, maybe it's paint your wall yellow. A couple of years ago, for some odd reason, I decided I was going to paint my entire laundry room bright sunshine yellow. And I did not tell my husband I was going to do this, but he came home and he was like, whoa, like wake up alert. But every time I walk into that laundry room, I can't help but smile. I can't help but laugh. It's probably not a color I would want my entire house painted in, but it looks really great in that one small room. I even have a nice little plaque with some pictures of some little pig butts and their curly tails, and it's got the yellow in it. It reflects beautifully, and it's got hooks on it, and it's just a wonderful little thing to just make you laugh sometimes, make you smile. I hope when I talked about pig butts that you're laughing right now like I'm laughing inside, because it's just a great thing to do. And even vocationally, sometimes we need some things to try to like add some positivity to our life, to maybe manage some stress, like just taking a nice warm bubble bath or something like that. Some things that kind of just move us in that positive direction, that positive way forward. Engaging in activities that are positive, things that are heartwarming, things that reduce your stress, things that make you laugh. Watch a good movie, laugh with your friends. That's what we need to do. And so these are very simple things that we can help each other do to stay positive. If you know of somebody who is struggling and going through a hard time, by all means, please do not pass up the opportunity to offer a phone call, to offer a cup of coffee, something to help us all get through these winter blues together, because it does take a team. You know, we always have that old adage, it takes a village to raise a family. Well, it also takes a team to be able to bring that positivity and that life, that spring for life back into each and every one of our steps. And so that's my encouragement for you is, you know, if you find yourself in that spot, that if you find yourself in those winter blues, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to ask for help for yourself or to offer help for someone else. And so I just encourage you to take some time and just reflect. You know, where are you? How are you emotionally, physically, spiritually? How are you doing as we're into these winter cold months? And do you know of somebody, a friend, a coworker, a neighbor, that you could also be offering a little bit of sunshine to? Somebody that you could be helping them through some of these winter blues as well, because we really do need to work together to make it so that we can all, in a very healthy way, be able to move forward and get ready for spring and all of newness of life that is to come. God bless.